say 7, y'all say days. Hunting for the cheese like a mouse in a maze. Been down all my life, mama thought it was a phase. Same OG, guess I'm stuck in my ways. Last night I had a dream.
Welcome to Neutral Voices, the place where your voice matters. This is our What's Going On segment.
Yes, it is.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Hey.
But what's going on? We're going to talk about this. Last week, we talked about a little bit about some of Joe Biden's executive orders that he's signed. And the one in particular that we spoke about was the transgender men in women's sports. Now, I looked over some of Joe Biden's executive orders, and his thing is, now, let's understand. Now, he's trying to be the total opposite of where Trump was. Now, there's good and bad in that. We have to find a medium. Now, I'm not saying all his orders are, perfect, correct, or anything like that. They're all subjected to your opinion, but you can be too much loving and too much open as you are too closed. So I think his thing is fairness, but I think his fairness is too broad stroke. And go ahead.
I was going to say, you mentioned transgender in sports.
Yes.
So I just wanted you to kind of...
Well, several of his executive orders, especially the one, he signed an executive order where high schools in the country have to allow transgender students play the sport in which they identify towards that gender. In Connecticut, there's a big uproar because there was a state champion track meet where this young man who said he was transgender won the state championship. And he robbed the number one female athlete of a scholarship.
Okay, now, I know you said that's the order he signed. What if there's I got to get this right. So what if there's a young lady who identifies as a male and she wants to play football?
Well, she doesn't have to be transgender to play football
right.
in most states.
No, she don't.
Title 11 allows her to play football being a girl. She doesn't have to identify.
They just can't tackle.
Right.
No,
they can tackle
Yeah,
her.
she can play right now, can't she?
play right
Just
now.
right
No
there on the
problem.
teams.
Yeah, Title 11 allows her to play sports.
Wrestling too. I've got a girlfriend. Her daughter wrestles.
Wayne
on the
had three
Lakeland
females
wrestling
wrestling.
team. Absolutely, absolutely.
Wayne had 3 female wrestlers on that team this year.
The world is
But
upside down.
all with
Okay.
that, he also reversed Trump's transgender in the military.
Yeah.
In one of his executive orders, he worded it like the LGBTQ and all those other letters are kind of a race
their own
now.
race. Yeah, and that's the advancement racial
Equality.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
and it literally states
Yes.
basically LGBTQ is a race.
Yeah. And
Race.
it's in the wording because
in
it's,
the wording.
actually in the racial equality.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. He's trying to be all inclusive.
Where do we
It's
stop,
the culture,
though?
isn't it?
Where do we stop? I mean, like you said, there's no happy medium because here's Trump, here's Biden, here's the middle. So, I mean, is it fair to say a lot of these are kind of extreme when we're trying to promote fairness or Biden's
Yes,
trying to
it's
promote
beyond
fairness?
extreme. It's
Because
beyond-
when does
It's
it,
real extreme.
at
Yeah.
what, where is the cap?
Yes. Yeah. But on the good side, I'm gonna give you some good things that he did, and we're gonna get out of here.
Now, you said on the good side.
On the good
I
side.
want you to
On
know
the
that
good
some
side.
I think he, I
people
think
feel
he
like
got
that
one
was
right.
the good side.
I think
And
he
I'm
got
saying
one of them right.
subjective.
He got
I'm
one of
saying
them right.
subjective.
Now,
Yeah.
when you say that, be careful, because there
Yes.
are people that's watching that's saying that was the good side.
That
No,
is
it's not
true
a
too.
good side,
That is
but-
true too.
Let's
I'll
say
agree
the
with
other
that.
side. Let's do
On the
the
good
other
side.
side.
No.
Let's
Hey,
say on
Clarence,
another
Clarence,
side.
Clarence,
Let's go. Yeah.
Clarence,
On the-
just say on the good side. Just keep it right where it's at.
On the good side, here's what he done. He has signed an executive order of housing and racial equality. What this means is he's trying to put an end to redlining. He's trying to make housing is not based on race, where redlining has been since Jim Crow, civil rights, redlining has come in. Actually,
Yes.
since the Civil War, redlining has come in where governments have drawn lines where they would not fund housing and buying land and all of that.
It's very alive today.
Yes, it's
Very
still
alive.
alive. But what he's trying to do right now is end redlining by signing this order for housing equality. That means that you can't just loan the west side of town the money to buy houses. It's got to be equal. And that will also stop the disparity in the wealth gap because you can't high price a house that is the same house on the south side of town lower than the exact same house on the north side of town.
And it's kind of disgusting that we have to sign orders for stuff like this. But I mean, let's be real, it's a step in the right direction. But I mean, it's sad that we have to have somebody sign orders that said that that's not allowed.
Yeah, but we don't do that. If it had been, it would have been done. But lastly, he's made an end, well, he's putting an end to federal prisons being privatized. Now, a lot of people, you got to read to understand what the difference is in this. And the reason he did this overall, there were some people in the government that were investing in private prisons. So he didn't feel that they should profit off of what they're lobbying for.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some dirty.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
They
shouldn't
at all.
And he's actually saying that, there's 2 million people in private prisons, in federal prison. He's saying it makes it more humane, it makes it safer, and it takes away the financial interests of people, of judges sending people to federal prisons just to keep them full.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. We when we were studying about the traps connected to, the
That's
welfare system, we were.
That's one of them.
Yes, man. We talked a lot
the
about
prison system
that.
is a whole business.
It's a whole business.
It is a business.
It's traded on the stock market. Private prisons are traded on the stock market.
It seemed like that's one of the things. I know we'll be talking about parenting later this week. That seems like one of the lessons parents need to teach at a young age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here, show them a picture. Stay away from this, baby.
Right.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. So like I say, all inclusive is good. It's a novel idea, but it's not gonna ever be a practice that we can fully, as long as we have two different opinions. There's no way we're gonna fully include everybody and everybody think it's fair and everybody think it's right.
No.
Now, I'm not a fan, and I'm not gonna agree with allowing a boy to compete against girls just because he says he. I think it's this Division III, and I'm out of here. Division III tracking the NCAA. There was a man. He was a man. He was 233rd ranked person in track and field last year. This year, he's the number one woman.
That's
crazy. I mean, that, you know, something.
That's insane.
I see what that is.
Now, if they want to compete, I think they should have their own league, their own group, their own category. I don't feel that. Think about it. That can lead. There's female boxers. What if I want to say I'm a transgender boxer and I'm beating up on a woman?
Right. I was going to say, that seemed like that could just go on and on. That's a whole nother episode.
Yes,
all by itself. Because I'm wondering, how does he even feel proud about that?
But this is what trips me out about the whole executive order. He did the equality executive order and then had a transgender executive order.
Yeah, right behind it.
Right behind it. So how do they get put in both situations?
Right.
And we still ain't got our
we still ain't got one. We
still
still ain't got one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that one out.
But Biden got the black contract, Tony.
That's to be
My
seen. It's
question
not
is,
ironed out.
how
That's to be
can-
seen.
He has a contract for Black America.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, we'll see. You know,
It's coming.
it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm
Be
not doubting it.
optimistic.
I'm just saying this is where he is right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I just want to know, and I get it, and you talking about these wonderful politics, and did they impeach Trump? No, I'm just kidding.
They started it.
They started the proceedings today.
I know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know where that is.
Anyway, I know the trial started.
Yes.
Yes.
So for the second impeachment. So the Super Bowl. I want to talk about the Super Bowl. So can you talk to me about sports a little bit?
Well,
Let's
let's
inform our
just say
people.
Tom Brady is the GOAT, hands down. He improved it.
Wait a minute.
many
I
times.
need you to say that with some energy, some excitement.
Not
Get the
gonna.
pom-poms out.
Not gonna. I have to give the man his props. He's the GOAT.
He's
I mean,
the
I
GOAT.
I was betting on the youngster. Hey, but Tom Brady came and showed
You
improvement.
never heard of grown man strength. Tom Brady showed that
His
man
grown
grown
man
man
strength. See, that's what he did.
He showed that boy
it
grown
is
man.
what
But
it
you know
is.
what? I just hate to, break all this Tom Brady celebration.
No, you
But I
can't.
just want to say he definitely didn't do it by himself. Now, when
No,
I watch
hold on.
I
I'm
know,
not
I'm just-
saying he did it by
no,
himself.
I'm just saying that's what I keep hearing. And like, I'm not into sports like that, so I would like to know some of the other guys.
Well, so you have to, since you're not into sports, you have to understand one thing. Yeah. Well, he did have a team, a band of misfits.
A band of misfits. I give you that.
And these are cats that nobody else wanted.
Yes.
And
actually,
they went out there and showed them, this is what you get for kicking me off your team.
Yeah. Actually, what he's saying is several of the players were either cut or released or re-signed by their previous team. And they went out there and they all got together and they won it.
Interesting.
Wow. Nice.
I didn't know that.
Leonard Fournette has won, and I wanted him to win it more than anybody. He was cut in the middle of the season by his team. They called him a wash. Yeah, he got a ring now.
Yeah. Antonio Brown was another one.
Antonio Brown.
I mean, he just went, hey, they got a team. Tom Brady was one of the smartest quarterbacks that ever played the game.
Yeah.
I have to give him that.
I give you that. Big up to Tom Brady.
Nice. Well, what about the female rep that was on the field? How do you
bad calls, bad calls, bad calls, bad calls. And it's not because she a female. She just did some bad calls.
Yeah, right. With the flags down on the ground.
I honestly feel that when you ref a Super Bowl or something like that, they need to have at least 10 to 15 years in the game.
I agree.
I definitely agree with that.
I agree with that.
I mean, it's just
that's
that
a big
simple.
deal. That can make or break something.
Yeah, that can make or break. I don't care about history making. Hey, she ain't been in the game for 10 to 15 years. You can't ref this type of game.
Yeah.
Well, and I get it, and everybody was cheering, and I was for Tom Brady, or for the Buccaneers, I should say. Not necessarily a Buccaneer fan, but I was for them. So, I had to collect and go around.
You bet.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Anyway.
See how she glossed over that one?
Yeah.
Did you bet?
Yeah.
You buying dinner tonight, then?
But listen, the commercials, hilarious. During the Super Bowl, always. But I just want to say, I kind of like that Michael B. Alexa.
I didn't see that commercial.
You didn't see that commercial? Oh, yeah.
That's because it was Michael B.
Well, no. That's a cool idea when you think about that.
What was the commercial?
It was, I think it's Alexa, and then you can ask a question like how many cups or how many ounces is in a cup or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then Michael B. gonna respond.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
Told you.
Really?
I told you.
That ain't nothing.
I'm gonna tell you my Super Bowl commercial. Nobody laughed because I know it's lame. But mine was Ashton Kutcher.
The man in the middle of the cornfield singing?
No. Him and his wife, Mila Kunis. It was Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Oh, I like that.
Shaggy was on the stage.
Yeah.
He was on stage,
yeah.
He was singing one me. And then she says, "Did you eat my Cheetos?" And she was like, "It wasn't me." Shaggy
that
was
was
like,
cool.
"Wow,
too.
that's the first time that ever worked."
That was cool. Tracy Morgan was the one that came through. I think he won best.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
The Rocket Mortgage.
But listen, but what's crazy is how about you could get real famous and your business could do really good just shooting to be the worst. Because the guy, he got a lot of notoriety, and it was about some kind of milk.
That oat milk?
Something. All I could tell you, he was in the middle of the cornfield singing.
I want to know how you milk an oat.
Oats?
Somebody show me how you milk an oat. I want to see that.
You would love that because you love oatmeal, Clarence.
But yeah, so
he hates oat.
and then, so my last one about the commercials, it was a commercial. I don't know what it was about, but Bruce Springsteen.
Field?
Spring. What is it? Springsteen.
One of the springs.
Wait, one of them.
Bruce
yeah,
Springsteen.
yeah. But he was looking like a whole Smokey Robinson. I didn't know. I was like, who is that? Smokey? What's that?
Wow.
Wow. Jill, do you have some entertainment for
I think you just did the entertainment part of it. So, first of all, speaking of the Super Bowl, if you haven't been under a rock, you know that there are a lot of opinions about the halftime show, as usual. I mean, I saw something where somebody said if Michael Jackson rose from the dead and performed, there would still be people that wouldn't be happy about it. And that's the truth.
I disagree.
However, did you see the halftime show?
I did.
What were your thoughts
Why
initially?
is 100 men on a field with jock straps on their face?
Is that what you thought?
No.
Did you enjoy it?
I
No.
thought it was cool.
I didn't
thought
watch
there
it.
was a lot of
I
people
ate.
out
I was
there.
eating
I
during,
didn't-
during
I didn't
halftime.
I
enjoy
thought it was cool. It was all right. I mean, dramatic, and that's what it's all about.
It was very different. And in
Yeah.
fact, so different. I mean, also, one thing that was interesting is he spent like, what, $7 million of his own money on the performance?
Wow.
That's crazy.
4?
Probably not even including the jockstrap masks.
Ooh.
But
What was the
$7 million.
Wow.
Wow.
But there's a story.
Well, I think that was the fireworks. That was what, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fireworks, red jackets.
Could have
Because that
been.
performance, those jock straps.
Yeah.
What was the meaning of
So
it?
he came out because, there was a lot of controversy and criticism on both sides. Some people loved it. Some people thought it was horrible. Some people thought it was cryptic and crazy. So he came out and said that this has actually been a year in the making. So I don't know if you've seen him like at the awards or anything else like that, but he has came out over the last year with literal what looked like bruises on his face. Bandages on his face,
Right.
where people, thought maybe he got beat up or plastic surgery. So he went on to explain that the significance of the entire head bandages is reflecting on the absurd Hollywood culture that celebrities and people have been manipulating themselves for superficial reasons to please and be validated. So apparently he's been working on this for a year. So he felt the need to come out and explain this to people, which I thought was a little different. But I mean, the whole thing, it was odd
It
to
was
me.
odd.
For a
But-
Super Bowl performance, it was different.
Yeah.
But for him to explain it, it's really hard to catch. Now, I get what he's trying to say, but for him to have to come back and explain it, I mean.
And that's how I feel. I mean, I feel like if it was a performance that was supposed to prove a point and give a message, then there wouldn't have to be an explanation that comes after it.
Right, right,
You know?
But
So,
did the performance actually give that message?
no, not in my opinion. It was just very... You'll have to watch. It was very different. And I'm not a huge Weeknd fan, but I do, I like his music.
Well, and for him to say that, he contradicts his own music because he opened with, I can't feel my face when I'm with you. Do you know what that song's about?
Mm-mm.
It's
Drugs.
about cocaine.
Drugs. It's about
What is
It's
cocaine.
about when he sniffs cocaine.
Oh.
You never.
You never
Never-
knew
I
that?
never sniffed cocaine. No,
No,
I'm just saying. what is sister supposed to do? You know,
Oh
how
my
do
goodness.
I supposed to relate
Well, I mean,
with that?
that-
They
that
don't
was the
teach you
meaning of
in
that
school.
song.
That's the meaning of that song. I can't
I
feel
can't feel my
with-
face
yeah.
with, and I was singing it and jamming.
But
Yeah,
I
didn't
love
know.
it.
But see, and you didn't know what you were singing.
I didn't know what I was singing. I got to stop doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, so if that's the reason, I mean, why would he start off with that song?
Yeah, it was just very, very odd.
It was popular, probably.
Yeah, it's
know what I mean?
popular. But again, that's, you can't bite the hand that feeds you, and you can't criticize the life that you're living, I feel.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, now if he was trying to get out of it, it would be different. But he's still performing and enjoying. I can't feel my face without you.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think too. I mean, you're at the Super Bowl. Do you know how many people want to perform at the Super Bowl? So I think the expectations for the halftime show are just like incredibly high, especially given the past performers that we were talking about the other night.
Yeah,
Prince.
like Queen Latifah.
I mean,
Wait a
there
minute.
are very high expectations. I would just think with everything going on
Jay-Z
right now,
still over on
they'd
the
use the floor
board
in a different way.
for the Super Bowl?
for the Super Bowl talent,
Talent.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z's on that board.
Yeah.
So
But,
I'm trying to figure out why would he?
He's trying to spread the
Rock
wealth.
Nation.
It's all
Coke and
right.
Rock Nation put on the halftime show. Hey, it's all about money.
Okay, it's enough hating
Pepsi.
on the weekend.
Pepsi, I'm sorry. Pepsi.
What is
and
the
Rock
weekend's real name?
So let me tell you how he got his
Friday.
name. No, really, this is how he got his name. So when he was 17, he dropped out of high school. Him and a couple of buddies took the mattresses out of their parents' houses, threw them in a crappy van on a weekend, never came home. So the reason it's spelled is spelled Weeknd. They left the E out because there was a Canadian band named Weekend and they didn't want, what's it called, trademark issues
Right,
or
trademark
whatever.
infringement.
So that's how he got his name, The Weeknd.
Oh.
Interesting.
That's lame.
Morgan.
Do we know
That's
what-
lame.
what's
I
his
know,
real name?
right?
We don't
Right.
know his
Right.
real name.
Let's figure that one out.
Nobody
Yeah,
know the man's
yeah.
real name.
Wow.
So Morgan Wallen. Ever heard of her?
Who's that?
It's a
Yes.
him. It's a him.
Oh. Psych.
Oh,
So
No.
is that the country singer?
yeah, a lot of
Okay.
us had never heard of Morgan Wallen
That was
until
the song you
recently.
were singing the other day, right?
No.
Oh,
No.
I thought you was playing it in your car when you pulled
No,
it.
no.
Wow.
Okay, right. Okay.
No.
So Morgan Wallen is under fire. He's a country star, apparently, who got drunk with some buddies after the bar, coming home into his house. The neighbors were
seen that.
videotaping.
And he dropped racial slurs
And
all over
he
the place.
said the N-word, and it's on video. So all of these, his
Whoa.
record labels yanking him, his record distributor yanking him.
Yep.
He came out and gave a public apology, but his sales are surging after this.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Surging. Which, that can mean many, many things, because if you can't, a lot of times when somebody's in drama and you've never heard of them, you want to know, like, who is this person? I have never heard of this person, ever.
No.
Yeah.
And Clarence.
A lot of people probably
Remember
have.
that question I asked you a couple weeks ago?
Freedom of speech.
At what cost?
At what cost? Hey, you
just-
are subject to that record label, that company, those organizations. You're
But you
subject
got the
to
freedom of
He
speech.
was free to speak. He was free to
But
speak it.
but at what
If
cost?
he wasn't free to speak it, he wouldn't have called those
But at
people.
what cost?
Now,
He don't. Hold on. He didn't just say the N word. He called somebody
Yeah, Yep.
B-A-N.
Yeah.
If y'all know what that is.
B-A-N. Y'all got me
he
doing
called him
too
a
much.
B-A-N. I'm going to explain
Oh,
that
I
to you when
got
we
it.
off the air.
Yeah.
B-R.
Yeah. Be a
Yeah, he called him a
Kind of.
B-A-N. And
Kind
not
of.
only, and I think he also
B-R
said he called him a
ninja.
gay or
Yeah.
an F.
Yeah.
He said you're either gay or you're
Okay.
F-A-N. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm just saying.
Ooh, too much.
My question
Okay,
is,
I
once
got-
again, at what cost?
Right.
Now, what
right.
was his name again?
Morgan
Wallen.
Wallen.
See how we giving him play?
But here's the funny part about it.
Blowing
A
him
lot
up.
of these people that do that, now they want to turn around and apologize. Oh, that wasn't me.
No, that was you.
That was you.
My daddy told
I mean,
me
that's
two
the
people
thing.
speak the truth, a drunk and a baby.
Hey, man. Yep. The truth come out when you're drunk. So that's how you actually feel. So, I mean, don't apologize now.
Yeah.
Because you didn't apologize when you was doing it.
Oh,
you thought
he
it was
said
cool.
with authority.
And he sure did.
He
He said it with his
authority.
chest.
So he
He
that
said it
was
with
the
his
first time
chest.
he
We
said-
are so
Yeah.
over him. This is Neutral Voices.
I'm just saying.
What's going on?
I mean, that's what's going on.
Well, you bring up a good point
America.
too. I know Eric and I always say that there's no freedom of speech. Clarence seems to think that there is. However, Brittany Matthews, you ever heard of her?
Brittany
She's the
Matthews.
fiance and almost, I guess, baby mama of Patrick. Is it
Mahomes.
Mahomes?
Say she-
Mahomes.
Yeah, that plays for the Chiefs.
Okay.
So apparently, Twitter canceled her because
They-
of a tweet from 2016.
Oh, they went back there.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
would have
So,
got Kevin Hart. Why can't they go back and
Okay.
get
so
her?
they did a
Go
little
get her.
digging,
Right.
but that's a
Go
perfect
get her.
example. I mean, she said something in 2016. She said, I just hit the Quan with some black girls. My life is complete. So she was hitting the Quan in 2016, and in 2021, people don't want her to Quan anymore. So,
Wow.
I mean,
they done threw the
You want to
flag
know
on
why?
the-
But
White girls can't hit the quad. So
white girls don't even know what the Quan is, apparently.
Right, they pulling up now and hitting the wall. Okay, so that's Quan is.
So, I mean,
it's over.
she had, that was speech from 2016.
That was
so,
an accomplishment from her. I'm on her side. She reached a milestone in life by hitting the quad.
Hey,
So
hey,
I'm on her
Clarence.
side.
Clarence, really?
Wow.
Really?
I'm just
I mean,
saying.
seriously,
How
really?
many white girls you know can hit the quad?
I don't know any, but I'm just saying. Really?
That was a milestone. Get that girl her props.
Well,
Once again.
where does she work
Go-
at?
where's she work at?
Where
Where
she
does
work
she
at?
work? I don't know.
She probably ain't
She
got no
rich
job.
mom.
I don't know, but we gonna let her get back to
Her husband's a
2016.
$1 billion man. So
We gonna let her get back to 2016 and keep it moving, whatever she's doing. So speaking of home, I said she was at home.
Yes, yes.
So I want to talk a little bit about business before we get out of here.
Okay.
And I mean, business behind all this entertainment, close the book. I get it. But I got some good stuff for you. So speaking of business and working from home, a lot of people been working from home lately. So the game of business has changed.
Right.
Mhm.
Right? Now, I know for me, being in the school system, everybody understand that whole remote and e-learning and et
Right,
cetera.
right.
So I was tossed in there and had to do work from home, and it was quite different for me because my joy has been in the classroom. So, I want to talk about embracing the changes in business. So real quick, so working from home, that was one. how people need to restructure their home atmosphere and actually put a desk in there and an office chair and kind of psych themselves out to make it feel like they're leaving the home to
Right.
do that. So that's one of the things. So, I'm going to give you a few. I'm going to keep it moving. So y'all might want to write this down. I'm going to give y'all some good stuff. Y'all might want to write this down.
I'm still in the
So,
office.
Me
look,
too.
moving through and using data as an asset, what does that look like? Data literacy? Do you know what that is? So data literacy is when you take the data you're collecting and you look at that, you analyze that so you understand your customers,
Right.
and then you know how to improve on the service that you're giving them. And then here's this other one. I like this. Innovation.
Innovation,
Business innovation. What is that? Look at all the different companies that has recently had to turn to curbside service, or they had to, hook up with DoorDash,
Right.
because in order for these restaurants to stay in business,
They
That's
had
what
to
they had
find
to
a way
do.
keep-
Yeah.
they had to do what they had to do. And so DoorDash and things like that. So, or look at this, when we start thinking about innovative businesses, look at the people that were just making ventilators, and then they started making respirators,
Right.
or people that were making oven mitts,
Right.
and they start making face masks.
Distilleries with the hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
Even here locally, I know the what's the liquor they make, the distillery.
Yes.
They start making the
Hand sanitizer.
That's right.
Right.
That's
Places
right.
are adapting, to what the demand is.
Absolutely. And so moving on, you were talking about businesses. I don't know if you heard of this business, Foggy Pine. So just show you how certain things can happen and you get endorsed. Stephen Colbert, who was the night host. Everybody know him. He used
Right.
to talk
Tonight
a
Show.
lot about Donald Trump. He loved him some Donald Trump. But he was talking and just happened to promote this particular business that was doing really bad, like going down. And they said his business started booming so much just from his endorsement that they actually had to hire a lot more people.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, sometimes in this business with this COVID-19, some businesses going down while other businesses are flourishing. So it's an up and down thing.
Right. Right.
So and then here's another good point for businesses. When I say you might want to write some notes, automation. Look at what's going on with the warehouses and the supplies with all these robots and chatbots. All of a sudden with the vehicles and different things.
Right.
I know at General Motors, they
Yes.
have some bots
Yeah,
walking around in there. So this is looking at business from 2021 viewpoint.
Doesn't Amazon do the drone? Isn't it Amazon do the drones? They do the drone drops.
I
You're
think they're
Google,
working
you
on it.
might know more than me.
They're
Yeah.
dropping
I think they're
packages
working on
from
it.
drones.
Yes. Amazon do drone drops.
That's
They're working
pretty
on
sweet.
it. That's one of the biggest things they are working on.
Yeah, working on drone drops.
That's awesome.
Okay, and then check this one out. You know how normally you want to start a business or you want to expand, you go to the bank. Well, think about if you were a bank right now and you don't feel comfortable loaning, especially to a new company,
Right.
somebody with a brand new
In this
idea.
uncertain future.
Yes. So smart people are thinking, and it makes me think about the telethon that we just had this past weekend with Ty Simmons and how they generated these monies.
Right.
$10,000 in 2 days.
Right.
Right. So crowdfunding
Yes.
is the new way to go, or what they call, which this I had never heard this term, blockchain technology.
Yes.
So using that as a means to finance, so their businesses, their different ventures and new startups.
Crowdfunding is coming back
Yes.
because if you don't know, Birth of a Nation was actually crowdfunded.
Okay.
The movie
Oh,
about Nat Turner.
When you say coming
Okay.
back, was it popular at one point?
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
was it?
and then it fell off, or it didn't fall off. It just got quiet because people were, saying that they were begging and different things, and it just seemed like you were out there with your hand out.
Right.
But now, with the economy, and a lot of people are going back to crowdfunding and asking for support from their customers, their supporters, to help them stay afloat. So it's coming back in a major way. But yeah, Birth of a Nation.
Okay.
I find a lot of people, too, are more apt to help right now, especially if it's something that, is for a good cause. People are really about community right now because that's where the focus is.
Absolutely.
With COVID and everything that has distracted us from the things, that we do in our everyday life, we're starting to focus on things that are meatier, things that are, going to change our future. So
That's
people
right.
the telethon's a good example. They want to come together.
That's right.
They want to help.
They want to help. And the other thing, the whole virtual interfacing, that was new, especially for my industry, because now you could just sit at home and try on makeup online. So you try on makeup, you can try on glasses. I don't know how this works, but you can try on clothes.
Yeah.
Too. So it's try it before you buy it.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why we like to go in the store.
Right.
So now they even, got that going on the computer. So
we honestly,
but
the
then
Jetsons
what about
now.
this
Yeah,
one?
seriously. Clarence wants the website for the clothes.
Right.
We honestly the Jetsons right now.
But absolutely. And I was just going to say, and then this other one that we can't forget, from global to local. Think about how they were with the United States and China, that whole exchange war, let's call it that. But how it allowed us or gave us an opportunity to stand back, look at our own communities, and look at what we can do right here, support our local farmers, and encourage people to plant gardens. Why are you shipping fruit and vegetables from across seas when you got people right here that's doing that?
I agree.
Right, and this isn't just something that is today. Like, this is our future. Where we're talking about the greenhouse, and we're talking about the farms. I mean, this is on the way to independent living, to where we're not having to depend on so many outside sources. It's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then the last thing is sustainability. Businesses today have to make sure that they have the product that is going to sustain what we are facing right now. And it has to serve our young people, and they are looking for something that is purposeful and meaningful.
Right.
So we have a lot going on.
Got a lot.
And guess what? One of the other things, and we're doing it right now, is connecting and to your clientele through social media.
So yes.
Having a conversation and engaging them through your social media platform. So that's how business is looking 2021
and
moving
beyond.
Forward.
Yep.
So
it's going to be different.
It's going to be really different. Yeah. So
we talked about that last week. This is the future village that we see.
Yeah.
We're going to be more interactive, visually interactive than personally interactive. I think it's going to be a long time before we're personable again.
Right, and we're trying to get to that herd immunity. I guess it's supposed to be like 70%. Before we actually are in that state, and that's supposed to happen in October. So hopefully,
it got to happen before October. I got to leave the country.
Oh, brother.
Right.
I'm getting off this rock. But before we go, everything that we talked about, and most everything we talk about on this is just to encourage and to unite. I just want to read this, and then we're going to get out of here. Finally, all of you have unity of mind, sympathy, brotherly love, a tender heart, and a humble mind. That comes from 1 Peter 3:8. That's telling us, and as we spoke earlier, Jill, you asked, how do we find a happy medium? Until we all have that like mind, until we all have that like heart, until we all have that unity, we're not going to reach those places. So what I'm saying is, we can want it, but we got to work for it. And we got to work inside to get it outside.
That's right.
So that's what I'm saying. We to make the world better, we all got to make us better.
Amen.
Amen.
Clarence.
Good.
Preach on.
and that's good. And on that note, this is Neutral Voices, and we will see you next time.
When I say 7, y'all say days. Hunting for the cheese like a mouse in a maze. Been down all my life, mama thought it was a phase. Same OG, guess I'm stuck in my ways. Last night I had a dream.